Hey everyone, Lawrence here with some important hamburger eating techniques for you. Now this is very important information obviously, but you're probably curious about why I've arrived at these techniques right now. But let me tell you. I got mad sick. I got crazy sick. We're talking both ends kind of sick, shivering on the couch kind of sick. I think I ate some bad prime rib, or at least that's the thing I associate with it. So now I just can't really get near any kind of like raw beef or anything like that. Rare beef, no thanks. However, and this is really strange, now that I'm on the other side of it, I have this just insatiable ravenous appetite for hamburgers. See? Come back around. I don't get it. I should not like beef, but maybe it's just because it's the most opposite. It's like hyper cooked. Anyway, we've all had this problem eating hamburgers. There's too much bread. It's just too bready. It's throwing off the harmony of the piece. You're trying to enjoy the savoriness and the crunch of the vegetables and the tartness of the ketchup. And here's all this bread getting in here, sopping everything up, getting in the way. Well, luckily for you, I've got some solutions. So first, the ideal technique is, I think, the open face technique. That's where you simply remove one of the buns. The ideal situation, I think, is if you take the top bun off, then it is actually an open face sandwich and looks almost civilized to eat. Yeah, this is the best solution if the top layer in the burger is either cheese or the patty itself. Pretty uncommon to put the patty on top. Sometimes it happens. Sometimes you'll lose some condiments on the top of the bun. That's a little more common. But really, if there's like a whole condiment layer sort of having the top bun hover on the burger, you're probably better off having the condiments anyway. And then you just get to chuck your sauce-laden burger top and enjoy your other burger in perfect harmony. You can kind of pick it up and sort of hold it by the bottom bun and eat it with your hands. I don't know. You end up getting just a little bit of like condiments, maybe a little ketchup on your fingertips doing it that way. You can always use a fork and knife if you want to appear prim, but let's be honest, hamburgers are the people's food and they're meant to be eaten with hands. So that brings me to the next step here, the top secret variation on the open face burger. Because like I said, pretty rare that the patty's on top. Sometimes the cheese is melted into the bread or the top part of the bun and you got a real situation on your hands. Here's the secret though. Flip it upside down. That's right. Flip it over. Often the patty is going to be on the bottom and then it's just a dry connection between the patty and the bread. You just whip the bottom bun across the room, problem solved. And here's the better part. Since the top part of the bun is domed, typically you can hold it with your fingertips and eat it and you won't get any sauce or anything on your fingertips. And the domed nature of the top bun is more supportive than the floppy flat nature of the often thinner bottom bun. That means you get the structural support of the arc, thank you Romans, and you keep your hands clean. It's perfect. Problem, you can't really put it down. You put it down, it's gonna wobble around, and if you're already doing a little burger deconstruction, odds are you got some burger drips on your plate. If you put it down, it's gonna wobble around in those drips. Now you got a greasy bottom, or you got a greasy top bun half, really. And then you're gonna get your fingers dirty, so that's not great. So really, once you adopt this technique, you're kind of locked in. That hand is now your burger hand. And I think the Roman had this figured out. All right, technique number 2. This is for the socially conscious out there. I understand not all of you are brave enough to eat a burger in the appropriate way in a social setting. You might draw some eyes, whatever. They don't know what they're missing, but hey, I understand some people got to wade in a little bit at a time. Got another technique for you. The toothpaste tube or the burrito squeeze. We've had this problem with burritos too, where the end caps are just like all flour tortilla and nobody wants a bite of that. I've just started like popping it open like a soda can, eating it, and then throwing the bottom like flour tortilla wad away. Similar technique with the cheeseburger. Let's be honest with each other. It's rare that the patty and all of the fixins of a burger are directly in the center of the bun, right? Usually you can rotate it around and find an edge where that's kind of sloshed to that side. Hey, here's what you do. You start eating from that edge first. And since all of the meats and cheeses and vegetables have all kind of sloshed to that side, you're going to have the appropriate mix. Thing is, you're going to have to bite at an angle, right? So that you don't get both buns in every bite. And you're going to have to give a little bit of this action right here. See this? This is important. Get a look at this. That's the movement right there, right? It's subtle. And you can't pinch too hard. Otherwise, you're just going to pinch it in half. But you want to slowly massage up insides of the burger through the 2 layers of bread, such that you always have the right amount of meat, cheese, and other vegetables peeking out so that you have easy angles to bite off of. You get a little bit of bread and a full bite of actual burger. The burger's been solved and improved thanks to my techniques. All right, this week on the stream, because yes, I do stream video games on Twitch. I finally started Armored Core. I was about to reach for it, and then I realized it's actually in my PS3. Anyway, Armored Core is fantastic. So From Software just announced Armored Core 6, which might have you think that there are only 5 Armored Cores, which is incorrect. There's 15. Anyway, I'm playing Armored Core 1, and I guess I'll try to get to the other ones. We'll see how that goes. But I'm having a great time, and it's already kicked my ass. I got into so much debt that the private military company I worked for reclaimed my body, shoved some chips into my brain, and kicked me back out the door to do it all over again. So it's got that slap you in the face Souls mentality, even though I wasn't really expecting that, because not all From Software games have that, but it sure does. It dares you to stop playing it many times, and I react very well to that kind of motivation. I also finished the story in Yakuza 0, so I'm going to be doing more side content in that. That's the feel-good stuff, you know? There's still melodrama, but you get that like Casio keyboard cutting in. You get some moments of emotional authenticity between bros over slot car races or softcore porn videos. It's a good time. I'm also going to be cleaning up some side stuff in God of War Ragnarok. I finished that story as well, so I get to do the side stuff now, the optional fights, get my little gamer ass humbled. Also, this is a weird thing that's been coming up lately. I've been finding time for Lawrence games, you know? The really bright, flashy, fast, EDM-laden ones. DJ Hero, Quake Champions, Tetris Effect, those kinds of games, so I've been having a really good time with that. I'm gonna find more time for that in the stream, once or twice a week. Also, I have a big event coming up, the Subathon, this Saturday, June 21st at 12 p.m. Pacific, so noon Pacific. I'm gonna be playing Fire Emblem Engage, which is the new Fire Emblem coming out this Friday. I've never played a modern Fire Emblem. I'm thinking about like picking a good cause and donating like $50 every time somebody dies. People still perma-die in Fire Emblem. See, there's so much to learn. So that's gonna happen. Also, I've been doing audiobooks during my subathons. Every time we get to a sub extension, I'll read a chapter out of fine literature. In this stream, I'll be starting Trigger Warning, the William W. Johnstone with J.A. Johnstone novel. There are no safe spaces. I'm really excited for this. Here's a little preview. Read the summary of the back here. Former Army Ranger Jake Rivers is not your typical Kelton college student. He is not spoiled, coddled, or ultra-lib like his classmates who sneer at the soldier boy. Rivers is not triggered. Every time there's quotes in the back, I'll do this just so y'all know. Rivers is not triggered by microaggressions. He is not outraged by male privilege and cisgender bathrooms. He does not need a safe space or coloring books. Jake needs an education. And when terror strikes, the school needs Jake. Without warning, the sounds of gunfire plunge the campus into a battle zone. A violent gang of marauders invade the main hall, taking students as hostages for big ransom money. As a veteran and patriot, Jake won't give in to their demands. But to fight back, he needs to enlist his fellow classmates to school these special snowflakes in the not-so-liberal art of war. This time, the aggression isn't micro. It's life or death, and only the strong survive. Oh yeah, and also it says, live free, read hard on the back. So that's cool. Real excited for that. A whole book that just totally validates you have to be a hard son of a bitch to live in this world. So should be a good time. Again, that's June 21st at 12 p.m. Pacific. Hope to see you there. If not, have a great week. Catch you next time, everybody.